but Sunday I try to. Okay, you are not going anywhere, right? What about you two? I didn't call it. What was it? You're long weekend. Long weekend. So 4th of July is long weekend. Yeah. What is it? First, second, third, fourth. Yeah. No. First, second,
fourth of July.
Second, third, fourth is the holiday. Yeah. So you don't want classes on first, second, third, fourth. First, second, third, fourth. Everybody is traveling. What about those who are online? First, second, third, fourth. Those who are first, second, third, fourth, are you guys traveling or are you here? Traveling. How many of you are here? Can you? The time has to suit everybody. I'm saying July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. 4 days. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Okay, maybe we'll discuss it by that time. Might not be created at all. Don't look it up. I hope everybody is doing it online. I mean, whether on a piece of paper, whether whatever.
ఎక్సాల్లో చేస్తున్నాను జ్యోతి ఇది రిక్వైర్మెంట్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్ ఆమె ఇక్కడ ఏం పెట్టింది ఇన్ డూప్లికేట్ చేయి ప్రిటీ మచ్ ఇక్కడ తీసుకొచ్చి కాపీ పేస్ట్లు చేసింది
Next 17th, 18th will be quality center. The 24th and 25th will be SQL. Everybody needs to do proper RTM. Now somebody wanted to see the RTM format of RTM you already have. Test cases, this is the test case. Can we have a copy of the new requirement? Yeah, I'll send it. I'll email it. You changed it? No. This new requirement means Verizon wireless. Yeah. You changed it. Both of you tell me. One wants to see the requirement, one wants to see the test case. I'm going to take my computer. Look at the anything to all of you? Yeah. I'm confused. Don't do that. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I can. I'm going to do everything. I mean, right now I'm just giving you a time to use your brain. That's all. Otherwise, I'm going to do everything. This is the standard. In every project, the standard, the switch to standard. No, it can change. It's excellent. Very nice. So we have to be a reminder to work on 9 and 10 work on weekends. I've stopped going out on weekends because I have a class. I don't go out. No, I stopped. If my husband has to go, I tell him you go. I have a class and I do not want to mess with it at any cost. Otherwise, I'll be responsibility. No, and I want to do it properly. I mean, why should I just waste my time and somebody else's time? So what are we doing for long? Let's go for a movie. That's not necessary to have the answer completely. So we want requirements. What else do we want? We want the Gmail test cases. You want the Gmail RTM. Right? So let me just go ahead and close everything. Format of the system. And I'll mail you some extra things also. So what I'm going to mail you is I'm sending you the mapping, which is complete. And I will send you the blank also. That would be good. I'm sending you these.
ID number ఏం పెట్టిందని అడుగుతున్నా.
నేను అడిగితే నేను చెప్పాను కదా అవి ఇన్వాలిడ్ అట్లా పెట్టిందండి అని. ఇందాక జీమెయిల్ కి అట్లా పెట్టిందో అట్లా పెట్టింది.
రూపాయలు తెచ్చుకుంటే ఉన్నది దానికన్నా బీపీ తెచ్చుకోమని నేనేం కన్ఫ్యూజ్ చేయలేదు. నాకు తెలియక అడుగుతున్నా. నేను తెలుస్తా నిన్నెందుకు అడుగుతా? తెలుస్తా నిన్న ఇక్కడ బ్యాటరీ అయిపోతుంది. ఇంకో ఫోన్ పట్టా పోయి ఇక్కడ లేదు. ఇంకోటి ఇక్కడ ఒక
I'm mailing it once again to be on the safe side. This is also there. We have to RTM for bombing. Do everything.
You're not understanding. నేను ఎందుకు అడుగుతున్నా? Because I don't have the knowledge.
Okay. నేను తప్పు చేస్తున్నాను అనుకుంటున్నా.
ఆగుగా. నువ్వు తప్పు చేస్తున్నావు కాదు, తప్పు చెప్తున్నావు. రాంగ్. నా ఫేస్ డోంట్ రీడ్ మై ఫేస్. యూఆర్ నాట్ ఎ ఫేస్ రీడర్. అడిగే ఫేస్ రీడర్. నా మైండ్ ఏముందో చెప్తావా? నా ఫేస్ చూసి నేను అనుకునేది చెప్తున్నాను. నేను ఇప్పుడు ఏదో ఒకటి అనుకుంటూ ఉంటాను మైండ్. చెప్పగలుగుతా? డోంట్ రీడ్ మై ఫేస్ బికాజ్ యూఆర్ నాట్ స్మార్ట్ ఇనఫ్ టు రీడ్ మై ఫేస్. ఓకే. ఫేస్ రీడర్ ఫేస్ని చూసి ఏదో అనుకుందంట. ఏం చూసా అనుకుంటే యు ఆర్ ఫూల్. పాయింట్ ఈజ్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ నోయింగ్ వాట్ టు రైట్ దేర్, సో ఐఎమ్ ఆస్కింగ్ యూ. నీకు తెలిసేవా అని? నువ్వేందో పెద్ద నోట్స్ రాస్తున్నావు కదా, చూస్తున్నావు కదా, ఇందాక నువ్వు వీడియో హెల్ప్ చేస్తావు అని అడుగుతాను. మళ్ళీ నేను చెడగొట్టానంటది. నేనేం చెడు అన్ననా? నాకు తెలియక నేను అడుగుతున్నాను. point is you need to understand that it's not about you, this is about me too. మనకు డిస్క్రిప్షన్ టెస్ట్ కేస్ నేమ్ వచ్చింది ఇక్కడ వీళ్ళకి ఓన్లీ ఐడి అండ్ డిస్క్రిప్షన్ ఉంది.
Now if you have your login valid,
రాజ్ విల్ ప్లే.
continue with this. We are going to do test data. We'll do equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis. We are going to do software testing life cycle, manual software testing. What do you do? What are the steps like we did for SDLC? Similar.
Windows 10 supports switch.
I have Windows 10. I have quality center. So I have it downloaded in my machine. You're talking about quality center or talking about something else? Quality center it does. I don't know about UFT. Quality center it does.
ఇప్పుడు కరెక్ట్ అని రాస్తున్నావా?
Everybody's got the documents.
Yes. వచ్చింది లేదు, ఈమెయిల్ వచ్చిందంటే చూసుకో. డాక్యుమెంట్ అంటే
I don't know. I have no idea about the installation.
క్లోజ్
It should. You might have to create a VM there or something like that, but it will support it now. And say download it or
నేను ఎస్టీ స్టోర్ లొకేట్ అని పెడతా. ఓకే, వ్యాలిడ్ జిప్ కోడ్కి కోడ్ ఏం పెడతా?
జిప్ కోడ్ వి అని పెట్టండి. జెడ్సి అట్టని పెట్టండి.
Okay, so now what we know, what assignment we have. What is the assignment that we have?
1 year invalid. మీరు చదవండి సరే. 1 year invalid requirement.
You have to do everything for.
Enter valid zip code.
You have to do the RTM.
Enter valid zip code, the store details of that.
మీరు కాపీ పేస్ట్ చేస్తారు. దాని రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ లో జిత్తు ఫస్ట్ లో
రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ చేంజ్ అవుతుంది.
Everything you do for and right? So these are the two things that you are going to do. Excel sheet.
రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఫస్ట్ లో ఇన్వాల్వ్ అవ్వండి.
Verizon wireless requirements. ఇదేనా?
Do we have a class till 2? You want a class till 2? No. You want a class till 2? You want a class till 2? I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem. I'll go. Okay. So now this is clear. Now let's go back to Verizon Wireless where we were. So this was the requirement. Everybody's gone through the requirement.
ఫస్ట్ 1 year ఏముంది? 1 year ఏముంది? సరే
వ్యాలిడ్ అమ్మా. మనం వ్యాలిడ్ అని ఎందుకు రాసుకో?
అది కాపీ పేస్ట్ చేశాను.
నేను కాపీ పేస్ట్ చేయలేదు, అది రాసే టైప్ చేసి.
కాపీ పేస్ట్. ఓకే. విజత్ర మీ దగ్గర నేను
సరే, ఇన్వాలిడ్ జిప్.
Why you have sent the test case documents? Which test case documents are there? If you don't want it, delete it. Some people want want it, some people don't want it. Those who want it, keep it. Those who don't want it, don't look at them. Simple. See, why I've sent the test cases is because I'm going to do it now. No, the exercise to study is Bombino. That I haven't sent. I have sent the store locator. Store locator I'm going to do now, Aditi.
Okay. So ఇక్కడ ఏమో invalid
See, anyways I'm going to do it now. So after class I would have had to mail it anyway. So that's why I've sent it now, but I haven't sent you Bombino Express, which is your assignment. So that you guys can go ahead and do it. So for the assignment, what you have to do is
return invalid zip. Should not display.
Bombino Express, you have to do the RTM, you have to do the test cases, and you have to do the
కాకపోతే నేను పైన రాసేది కింద రాస్తాను కింద రాసేది పైన
right? So this is what you need to do. Then there is one more which is well
ఫార్మ్స్ కరెక్ట్ లేవు
సరిగా బ్రేక్ ఎందుకు కరెక్ట్ చేసారు ఎక్సెల్ ఫామ్
అది పంపించింది
Now there is an OR between the zip code and the state. So either what if I select both? What should happen? It should be an error message. It should not do it. What should happen? Right? So the is going to tell me this. Then I enter an invalid zip code. If I enter an invalid zip code, the store details are not displayed and all the fields are reset. Then, if I go ahead and if I say enter zip code or select a state, click on find stores to display the results in below format. Now, below format it says address, work hour, featured services, workshop links. Now, what do I mean? What is the format? Is it a table format? What format it is? I don't know. It is just telling me that it's displayed in a format, so I need to check with them also what format do you need. Then it says if the zip code is blank, the store details are not displayed and all fields are reset. So this is my basic requirement. So let's see how do I break it down. So what am I going to do here for this requirement? I'm going to open the browser. I'm going to type www.verizonwireless.com. The main page is going to open. On the main page, the store locator functionality appears on the top menu page of the verizonwireless.com. Now, if I click on the store locator functionality, the store locator screen should open with all these things. Right? Now, if I enter invalid zip code, the store details are not displayed and the fields are reset. So, if I enter the valid zip code and click on find stores, then all these things are displayed. Now, I can either select the zip code or the state. So now the requirement says that you should not select both. Now, if it is a valid zip code, if it is a valid state, and if it is an invalid zip code, what will happen in that case? That case also. So first you have to ask them that what if I am entering both, what will happen? That you have to check with them. Here there is not written that any error message is displayed. So we understand that no error message is displayed, only the fields have to be reset. Then I have to understand that what do you mean by in below format? And where is it? Is it coming on the next page? Is it coming here on this page? Where is it coming? So I need that. No, this is just for my understanding. I've created this. You don't have to create it, but this is the best way as a starter. Before creating the test case, if I can create a document like this, then it is very easy for me to go ahead and implement it into a test case. So this is for my understanding that I have done it. Nobody will ask you to do it. You will not be asked. You can do it on your own. Okay, so this is just for your understanding. Now here, other things that you are going to test is, can you see this choose state is a drop down. So obviously the values in choose state, they should be told to you. You should know that what all values can come here. And then this should not be editable. You should not be able to enter anything into this. So these are the things as a tester you're going to do extra. Now if you see at the screen here, that first in blue color, first in red color there is a line there.
What do you want to do?
In blue color it is written store locator. Then in black color it is written search for a store. Then you have a zip code and choose state. Then you have find stores in red color with white color font. Then you have select a store with blue color font. So all these things you have to check as a tester. So you are checking this also, right? Because if it does not match the screen also, then that is also a bug. That is also a bug. We will not call it an error. We will call it a bug or a defect. Okay, so let's get started. So the first test case ID, let's say what am I going to talk about? Here I'm going to say the test case ID is Verizon Wireless main page. Okay. So what is the precondition for this? Obviously, internet connection is available. Then what is the description? Description is test Verizon Wireless main page. What are you are describing this test case basically that I'm testing the main page. So what will happen here? I open the Verizon Wireless main page with the URL in the browser. Now what is the URL in the browser that I am using? www.verizonwireless.com. Nikhil, when you look at the RTM, obviously the requirement part, left part should be done first before you do the test case. And the mapping should be done after the test case is done. Does that make sense, Nikhil? Are you sending this document? Aditi, I've already mailed this document to you.
ఫస్ట్ అదే చేయాలంట.
Right, this document is already there with
అది
you.
ఆల్రెడీ చేసి పంపించేసిందండి ఈమెయిల్.
I mean the fill document. Didn't I send the fill document? Can you repeat, please? What do you want me to repeat, Jyoti? You want me to repeat this sentence or anything else you want me to repeat?
అది చేయలేదు. అడగనా? Can we do the RTM?
Which we need to do first, okay.
Can we do
See, please remember that whenever you are writing the RTM, in that the left side, that is the requirement should be written first. Then we will write the test cases and then we will do the
ఆమె ఇది చేస్తుంది ఇప్పుడు, ఇది మానేసింది.
అది మానేస్తే సగం వచ్చి సగం వదిలేదు. ఇది ఎక్కడ వెళ్ళాలి మనకు తెలియదు.
Because in test cases, that's why it is separate. This is the test step. For this test step, what should be the output is what should be there and expected. That's why it is broken down. Okay? Okay, so then this I'm done with the Verizon Wireless main page. Then I have Verizon Wireless store locator. So what do I mean by Verizon Wireless store locator? That is, I am testing the store locator. So what am I testing here? I am checking the condition in the main page should be check. Yes, check store locator.
ఇందువల్లనే నేను అనుకునేది ఏంటంటే దీనికి ఒక ప్రాసెస్ ఇదంతా ఏమి ఉండదు, ఎవరు చేసుకునేది పోయి ఎలా చేసుకోబోతున్నాడు ఎవడు ఇష్టం అది అయిపోయింది.
Menu Verizon Wireless page. Then here the test data. Right now I'm not going to write anything because there is no test data for this. So here the store locator menu appears on the top of the Verizon Wireless page. Right? Yeah. Now what am I going to do? Here obviously the main page has to be open, otherwise you cannot go ahead and do anything. Now once the scenario is here my store locator or the Verizon Wireless that I'm talking about. Now once I've done the store locator, no, right now please try to understand. I don't want you to talk. Right now please understand, I'm just checking if the store locator menu appears. So only that appears. So now if that store locator appears and you click on it, then you need to see just format. Yes. So what am I going to do now? Next I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say Verizon Wireless. Verizon Wireless, let's call it Verizon Wireless store locator link. Verizon Wireless store locator link. No, it's not in pre-condition. This should go here. And here I'm going to pick up the main page and put it here. So what am I testing here? I'm testing the store locator link. Test store locator link. Then I come here and I say click on store locator link. Right, till now I was just checking if the menu was there or not. So again for this there is no test data.
This is sound
But here what is button. So here if you say expected is what? Store locator, page, opens with zip code, text box, choose state, list box or drop down, both are same, and find store button. Right? Aditi, right now just try to focus on what we are doing. We'll talk about the documents after we finish this. Don't worry, if you've not got anything, I will send it to you. So here this is store locator, then you clicked on the store locator. What happens now? This page has opened. Now after this page is opened, I need to check valid, invalid and blank and choose state. 4 because it's an or in between, right? So if I go to store locator link, this is done now. Now I'm going to check Verizon wireless, store locator and zip code valid. So here I'm going to go ahead and
the link should be open.
yeah, so this particular store locator link should be open. And then what am I checking here? The description is zip code valid. And then here I'm going to zip code valid. And let's say test zip code valid. And so what should be my step here? The step is going to be that enter valid zip code, and then you click on the find store button. Find store button. Find store locator nahi na, store button. Find stores button. Find stores button. Right. Now obviously I'm going to enter the zip code here in the test data, but test data we're going to talk about it later. So what is going to happen there is displays the results in the below format. So what is that format? It displays the results in the below format. The format is address, work hours, address, work hours, featured services and workshop. Right? Now, what am I going to do after this? Now this is zip code valid. Right? Now let's do zip code invalid. How will this be? Don't we add on the answers that the selected drop down for the valid find to locator? For which? Because there is an or. Either you enter zip code or you choose a state. When you choose both of the functionalities separately, because there is an or between, that you are going to ask the BA that what if somebody enters both, what will happen? So maybe the BA will tell you that what one gets disabled or whatever it is. And what if one doesn't take the zip code but he selects the state? So that's okay. So we will test that. We are going to do it. Yes. So when we are going to yes. So what am I not the final step. So I'm going to check zip code valid. I am going to check zip code invalid. I am going to check zip code blank, and I am going to check choose state. That is what these are the things that I am testing. So what you are saying, we will test it. So zip code blank, zip code invalid. So this will come in the same ID. All of them are different. Everything is a different test case. Okay. Are we going to write invalid zip code and select state in two test cases? No, Nandati, because there is an or in will ask the DA that what happens if somebody selects both. That you are going to ask them, right? Then if I say zip code, Verizon wireless, store locator, zip code, blank. So if I say Verizon wireless, store locator, choose state. Then this is going to be the same for whatever it is. Then let's go to this. So in this, I'm testing zip code invalid. So I'm going to enter an invalid zip code, and here obviously I'm going to enter zip code. Here I'm going to obviously enter blank. So enter
పెద్దగా 3 hours అని మరి పెద్దగా తగ్గియొచ్చు కదా
blank zip code. And then I'm going to click on the find store button, and here obviously the zip code is going to be blank.
2 days లో 6 hours కవర్ చేస్తాం అట్లా.
And then obviously choose state, we will do it in a minute.
మనకు కూడా 5 hours అవుతుంది.
ఇదే 2.5 పెట్టుకోవచ్చు.
Here I have zip code invalid, zip code blank. So what is going to happen if it is invalid zip code? The store details are not displayed and the fields are filled. So store details are not displayed and the fields are displayed.
అందుకే వీక్ డే క్లాసెస్ బెటర్, కానీ వీక్ డే క్లాసెస్ అటెండ్ అవుతాం.
And if it is blank, again, the stores are not displayed and the fields are reset. Then if I say choose state, obviously it has to be one of the values that is there. Now if I say choose state, what is going to happen in this case? So you are going to select state from the choose state list box, and then you are going to click on the find stores button. Choose state, and obviously here what is going to happen if you click on this, it should display the results in the below format. Now any doubts with this? Any doubts with this?
No.
For the test data, whenever we enter and test data, we need to give any codes or brackets or something. So here, because I'm going to be entering more than one value, so I'm just going to go ahead and put these codes here. But because here it is just going to be blank, and here it is going to be from one value from the drop down. So when I'm saying this, so one test case is also going to be like, wherein I'm going to check that in choose state all these values are displayed. You are going to check that also. That also you put it as a test case.
Valid zip code and choose state. We have to do one more process.
One more step in your test step. So you are saying enter valid zip code, and you are saying that choose state.
One more test.
Yes. One more additional step will be there. Right? This I've already emailed to you, right? Or I haven't?
Yeah.
I have. So then I have mailed it, right? So this is already emailed to you, Aditi. And if you did not get the mail, check now. Otherwise, I will mail it to you. I think your name is already there, if I'm not wrong. Aditi, your name is there, Aditi Podar. It is there. Check in your inbox.
Lakshmi Prasad.
So now all of you can do the RTM on your own. It is no big deal. All of you can do the mapping. Yes. Right? Can everybody do the RTM and the mapping?
నేనేం చెబుతున్నా కదా ఇప్పుడు ఇది చెప్తుంది
ఆర్టీఎం సొంతంగా చేసుకోమంటున్నా. ఆర్టీఎం నుండి మ్యాపింగ్ చేసుకోమంటుంది సొంతగా అని చెప్పండి.
So for everything for the Bombino, you're going to do the RTM test cases and you're going to do the mapping. You're going to do everything for that. And then we are going to do equivalence partitioning and boundary value in the next class. So right now we'll just go through some 2 or 3 of the types of testing that are left.
మళ్ళీ టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ టెస్టింగ్ పోతుంది. మొన్న 2 చెప్పింది కదా, ఇంకా తక్కిన 2 చెప్పింది.
స్టాటిక్ అండ్ డైనమిక్.
దాన్ని ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ ఏమో మనం అసైన్మెంట్ చేయమని ఇప్పుడు అర్థమైందా? ఆర్టీఎం టెస్ట్ కేసులు.
So now we are going to talk about performance testing. So type of performance testing. Manual we've done, automation we've done. So performance testing, it can be load testing, stress testing and endurance testing. So here you have your load testing, stress testing and endurance testing. Performance testing is, yes, it is non-functional requirement, right? Security, all these are non-functional requirements. So you have load, stress and endurance. So testing performed to determine how a system performs in terms of responsiveness and stability under a particular workload. So it is used to effectively estimate certain quality attributes of the system such as scalability, reliability and resource usage. So what do you actually mean by this? What is Ritu, can you send the store locator test case document to me again? Aditi, it is with you. I just checked your email ID. It might take some time. It will come to you. Just check till the class gets over. If it doesn't, I will. Load testing. So load testing is the simplest form of performance testing. A load test is usually conducted to understand the behavior of the system under specific load. So basically, like, you have a number of users. So if you have www.gmail.com. Now in this gmail.com, if I have a website and if I'm putting 100 users on this at the same time, how will my application behave? How will my application
Home Depot lo red
behave? That is
folding
your load test.
flexible ga
What you're doing is you are gradually
mats laga అవి తీసుకొచ్చి వెనకాల గడ్డు ఉన్న దగ్గర ఆ స్పాట్లో వేసేవచ్చు.
or the This is what you are doing. So here, what is the response time for all the important business and critical transactions? So when you are doing this kind of testing, this is known as
లైన్ అక్కడంతా పరిచేస్తే
then you have your stress testing. Now what is stress testing? Stress testing is normally used to understand the upper limit capacity within the system. So okay, www.gmail is there. So obviously this will have some kind of an upper limit. When the system will break after that, so what is that upper limit? When I'm trying to find out that is known as the So this type of testing is done to determine the system's robustness in terms of extreme load and helps application administration to determine if the system will perform sufficiently if the current load goes well above the expected
ఎంత
maximum.
closer.
So what happens is I'm trying to find the upper limit.
First
Because after
side it said
upper
room side
limit
ఏమో రాక్
also
సైడ్
the
ఏమో
application should not
అక్కడ వేసుకోవాలి.
crash. It should behave in a it should behave in a proper or a stable way. Now why should you behave in a stable way? Because it should not happen that all the data gets lost.
ఎంతవరకు చేయగలుగుతాం అంతవరకు.
So I need to know what is the stress point for my application.
For every website, this testing is there.
They do it generally. How long it can or how much it can take? How many users can it take? What is the maximum? See,
Because maybe any number of users.
see that's automation, right? That is when automation.
Parts these
That's
bad
why
data,
what
no?
comes into picture is you have
మన
your
కార్లు
tools
తీసి
like
బయట
some
పెట్టినా
tools which is known as
స్పాట్స్ మళ్ళీ
load runner. Now using
But
load
already
runner
I've got
or
one.
a tool called
చూసావా ఒక కార్ తీసి ఇంకో కార్
so
పెట్టి
there is a tool called load runner or a
Then
tool
like
called
the-
soap UI. Now what happens in this case of these tools is you can actually create something known as the virtual users. So you don't have 100 people sitting there and actually testing or 1,000 users. So you create something known as the virtual users. So there will be just a number there where you can go ahead and type how many users you want. And the application will behave in that way. So when there are 1,000 users, what is the response time? How does the application respond to all these things? These are the things that we are checking when it comes here. Now if you look, now the thing is, please remember one thing, the way client gives you requirements in the sense, the way client gives you requirements for functional testing, similarly the client gives you requirements for non-functional testing. So the client gives you, and generally you keep separate documents for requirements for functional testing and you keep separate requirements for non-functional testing. So if a client asks you to do both, you have to do both. If a client says only do functional or only do non-functional, you do that. Right? So what kinds of functional functional is what we studied, right? All those user acceptance testing, black box testing, system testing, all that is your functional means in which you can answer the question, does the application do this or does it do that? That kind of thing. That was our functional. Non-functional. Now this is just one example given by one of the clients. Okay. Now why have I taken this example? This is just to make you understand that the client says that the load test is perfect if the response time is less than or equal to 5 seconds. It is just about okay if it is between 5 and 8. Then it fails if it is greater than 8 seconds. So this is the requirement that is given to me by the client, and on the basis of this I have to test.
This is what the bank website.
It's like this is just take it as an example for any website, but obviously this is just an example for maybe one website that we were testing in our organization. Right? So for a bank or for something, they might have the response time 2 seconds. You don't know. So that might vary.
Automatically the page express. You are not doing anything in 2 seconds.
No, the response time is different, and what you are saying is that if the page stays idle for some time, what should happen? That is not performance testing. Performance is that if I click on the browser www.gmail.com and I press the enter button, how long does it take for my page to render?
Then what is that one page?
I think that has got a timeout session or something like that.
Timeout session. So that is testing there.
If that is a part of the requirement, definitely yes. Again, if it is a part of the requirement, you will test it. Does it depend on the environment? Which environment? It can depend on the browser, but which environment I can understand? No, I think environment means he's talking about the hardware. So it depends on the environment, but yes, definitely they will tell us that what is the in which environment we have to test. We are going to test it in that particular setup and give them the result. So again, now if you look at this particular diagram, this is how it should look when you are going ahead and testing it. So times, and this is the number of virtual users. So what do you mean by virtual users? Virtual users means that they are not real users, they are dummy users or whatever. So here if you see, when it comes to this part, and when it comes to this part, can you see the response time all of a sudden increases? So this is the kind of result that we give to the developers, and they will check what is going wrong when the number of users are 41, 42. What is going wrong when the number of users is 145, and then they will check in their code that what is happening wrong. So maybe some variables are not being initialized, some memory is getting leaked. So somebody asked me what is memory leak in case of performance testing. So whenever you're using variables, those variables are going to have some kind of some kind of values you are storing into them. So when you go ahead, you have to empty those variables in coding when you're doing coding. So somewhere or the other that is not happening. That's why there is kind of taking more response time. Right? Then you have one example. Think of a website that supports a maximum of 100 users. To perform the test application, we put a load of 100 virtual users on the application, and we measure the application's performance on various parameters such as response time, etc. Now, if the load is gradually increased above 100 users to understand the upper limit capacity within the system, it is known as stress testing. Now, under the expected load of 100 users, we measure that what is the, we left out one term which is known as endurance testing. Let's just go back to that. So, endurance testing is nothing but the word continuous. So, you might have 100 users, but do you have 100 users continuously for 4 hours? That is known as your So you have people hooked onto Facebook, and all 100 users are hooked on for continuously 4 hours, and they're doing something or the other. So this you are checking, that will require memory, that will require what are the potential leaks, how stable it is. Because if 5 users are coming, going, then that's okay. So just imagine if H2K Infosys website is there, and all of you are checking the videos there. If some 5-10 users are checking the videos, it's okay. Just imagine all of a sudden if 1,000 users logged in at the same time. How would it behave? So that's what we have to check. How will it behave? So that is basically what is known as your endurance, that continuously for 4-5 hours people are there. So here if you see, sustain the continuous expected load is known as endurance testing. So here you are checking for your memory utilization, and you are checking your potential leaks, and goal is to check how the system behaves under sustained use. Sustained, continuous for so many hours. Right? Now there is something known as browser compatibility testing. What do you mean by browser compatibility testing? What is a browser? I'm sure all of you heard of different browsers. So what is it? It's a software basically using which you can open web-based applications such as gmail.com and ebay.com. So here you have your worldwide web, you have your Mosaic, Netscape, Navigator, Internet Explorer. So all these are basically softwares, and they are known as browsers using which you can go ahead and open your web applications such as Gmail and all that. So what happens is, when you have to test an application, so in your project you will be told, hey, you know what, A tester, you test all this on Netscape, right? Tester B, you test it on Internet Explorer. Tester C, you test it on Safari or whatever it is. So this is how you are told that today's task for the day is this. Today's task for the day is that. Today's task for the day is this. That's how they go ahead and divide it to you. Now, how do you get to know that in a project on which browsers do I have to test? So that you will be told by your team lead. DA will tell you the requirement, but it's ultimately DA will tell you you have to test it on this, but that communication can come to us through the team lead.
There are a number of servers
understand this. Can you see this diagram here? Now this is again just one example, guys. It does not mean it will come to you in this format. So here it says that you have Internet Explorer, you have this version, that version. On this version, on this browser and this operating system, do full testing. On this browser, on this, just do smoke testing. That at least the application is stable. That's all. So here and here, I don't want you to do anything. So they will tell you this completely when you join an organization. Don't go by the color, don't go by the thing, go by the concept. You will, when you join an organization, this format might not look like this. This is how we did it in my organization, so I've just copy pasted it here. So I'm just trying to tell you that they'll tell you on this browser and this operating system, either you do everything, or you do only smoke, or you do only like if it is supported or not. But wherever it is full, you are going to do everything. Wherever it is smoke, you are just going to do the basic test. So they will tell you this. So that means if today your team lead told you on Internet Explorer and Windows 7, so you will know that you have to do full testing. But if he's given somebody else Firefox and Windows Vista, that means that person knows he has to do only. So again, not in this format, but in any other format, you will be told this. So any of the things that I open and show you, don't look at the format, look at the concept. That's the only thing. Right? So now if you see here, so this was how it might be told to you that on which browser and operating system you have to test. So here if you see, when we test the compatibility of the software with the specific browsers. If you open some websites like www.gmail.com, I think you open it on any website, it works properly. So that means they would have done so much of thorough testing on this. If you open google.com, doesn't it open in most of the browsers? That means obviously they've done very good testing. And when you are testing a software on specific browsers, that is known as your browser compatibility testing. So in some browsers you might get errors that the page is not being loaded, or in some, the display totally goes haphazard. If you have a username, password, and you have a login, so Internet Explorer, it is opening properly, but the minute you open it on Netscape Navigator, the whole screen goes here and there. Right? So that you have to go ahead and report. So when you do the testing. So here, but once you open the same application in another browser, it works properly. This is due to the browser compatibility issues. So we can check that the page should be loaded properly and the video image also should be loaded properly. Right? So this is testing the same application on different browsers. That is known as your browser compatibility. Now there is something known as cross-browser testing. What is cross-browser testing? You're testing the compatibility of the software with different browsers of different versions. That means Internet Explorer and Netscape Navigator will have different versions. Now the same application you are testing with the different versions of the same browser. Internet Explorer, one browser, can have different versions. You might have a different version installed on your machine. I might have a different version. So I'm testing my gmail.com on the different versions of that browser. That is also known as your cross-browser testing. So this is your cross-browser.
What?
Any doubts till now before I go further? Any doubts till now? At times, I say questions like, any doubts till now? Is everything clear? So half the people type yes and half the people type no. So I don't know who's typing yes and who's typing no. till now or all clear? Okay, so no doubts. People are typing no doubts very sincerely. Thank you. Good. Victor is saying clear. So they've changed their answers according to my question. So there are so many people logged on. Only 10 of you replied. Where did the rest of you go? Don't take a nap in between, guys. That's not fair. I can't sleep, so how can I need to go through these topics again. Yes, please do. And if you are not able to understand, come back. Actually, what happens is when it is a 3-hour class, there is too much of information that you have to take. So there is test cases, there is... did you mention how to document the business rules? No, we'll talk about that in the next class, Victor. Yeah, you have to study. You have all the documents with you. You study. How many of you went through that Agile document, Agile in 5 minutes, Scrum in 5 minutes? You have to study. Just by taking the course is not sufficient, but you have to read. So pick up any website, guru99.com, pick up any website, start making your resume. What are you going to put on your resume? You have to start thinking from day one. No, seriously, you have to do it from day one. I mean, you have to start today because, like, in between, you're going somewhere, somebody, something, so you lose focus. So you cannot afford to lose focus if you want to get a job. So that is one thing you always have to remember, that do not lose focus. Nothing. Just go and log in. Software testing help is also good. Now there is one more last.
All the details from the document. 241. You get all the
Everything is there. Now one last testing is something known as external interface testing, or it is known as inter-system testing. So what do you mean by external interface testing? There are two systems. Both the systems are separate. But from this system, you're going to this system and then coming back. So let's talk about shopping on ebay.com. So this is ebay.com. The steps that we follow are search for a product, select for the product, payment, and product is shipped to your location. So you search for the product, you select the product, and then you are going to do the payment. So payment can be done in different ways. So when you do the payment, let's say you select paypal.com. So you log into your account, you make the payment, and then you go back to the ebay.com. So you are going from eBay, you are going to paypal.com, you are making the payment, and you are going back to ebay.com. So the system, so here eBay is a different system and PayPal is a different system, and so the systems are interfaced here for the payment process. Here you are testing the payment process. So this is known as external interface testing or inter-system. So you are testing that what is the interface. This is separate, but here you are checking the interface here, that is the payment between the two sides. So is that working properly or not? I'm not going to do anything beyond this, because if I do anything beyond this, I'm sure all of us are going to explode. So now for Soma, I'm going to do the recap for you. You wanted a recap of the rest of you go through what all documents are there. Aditi, did you get the document or not? Let me know, then I'll mail it to you. So in the last class, I'm just going to do it quickly because you have the notes, you can do a recap of it yourself. We spoke that domains are nothing but the business areas or the industry. So functionality is nothing but a feature that can do a particular task. So if you open the AT&T, which is a telecom domain, register, login, pay bill, search, billing, all these are the different functionalities there. So this is the term we understood. Then we spoke about the three-tier architecture. What exactly is the three-tier architecture? Three-tier architecture means three-tier architecture. I drew it here in very horrible handwriting. So here I drew that there is something known as the client. So there can be different clients. This is the first tier. Then the second tier is the server. So here, this is the server here. So your server will process the client request by checking into the database. So you send, can you send me the notes of today's class? I already did, Sajanya. This was last week's class, right? Yeah, this is last week. Last Saturday. I didn't get these notes. Did you send it? Yes. Check, should be there. No? I'll mail it again. Okay, thank you. So you have the client here, then you have the server. So client will request the server. The server will process the request by checking into the database. Now what is the database? This is the third tier. Okay. Jyoti, PPT I don't send. I have the notes which I sent, so that I've already sent across to you. The PPT I will not send. Okay, so here you have the browser. You have the, this is the client. Then you have the server. And then you have the database. Because in the PPT I have copy pasted some of my organization's content. So it is not legal for me to share it to everybody. So those are, if I don't put it for understanding, then it is not easy for you to understand performance. You can't see what is the graph. So that's why I've copy pasted those things. But as a rule, I cannot share it with everybody, whatever the organization document. So that's why there are notes that I share and I don't share the PPT. But if you don't understand anything or if there is anything specific you want, you let me know, I'll share that. So the first tier is the client, second tier is the server, and the third tier is the database. So then we took an example how to understand this. We took an example of www.gmail.com. So here you are opening the browser. You're going to enter the username and password. You're going to click on the login button. Information that you have entered from the system will go over the internet to the Google application server. Why is it going to the Google application server? Because I'm typing www.gmail.com. If I type www.attnt.com, it will go to the AT&T application server. So here client is sending a request to the server. Now who is going to process the request? The server is going to process the request. But where is the data stored? Data is stored in the database. So if the username and password does not exist, if it exists, the server will send a response to the client and the account will open. If the username and password does not exist, then the server will send this response to the client that the user does not exist and the account will not open. So this was the three-tier architecture we discussed. Then we discussed about the environment. What exactly do we mean by the environment? Environment is nothing but the computer environment that we are talking about here. That is the hardware and software configuration of a computer. What is the operating system? What is the browser? Does it have any printer? Does it have any testing tools? All these things is known as the environment. Now there are three types of environment, four types of environment here. The first type of environment is the development environment, where the developer is sitting and doing the development. That is the developer's machine on which they have their own software. Then you have the testing environment, where the software is being tested. Then you have something known as the pre-production environment, like we discussed, the user acceptance testing that we did. So that is nothing but done in the user's environment. And then then you have the production environment. That is the actual client environment where you are going ahead and installing the software. So here we took an example of an ATM machine. So if you look at an ATM machine, if I have to install a software on the ATM machine, obviously first the developer is going to do the coding for that on the developer machine. Then the tester is going to do the testing on the testing machine. Then should I go ahead and install directly everything on all the 1,000 machines, ATM machines? No. I'm going to first install it on 2 or 3 machines, and then if it works properly there, then I'm going to put it in the production environment. So generally, the production and the pre-production environment have the same hardware and software. So if this has 3 servers, this will also have 3 servers. So this is complete replica. So this is known as your pre-production testing that you are doing here. No, then we did types of testing. Before that, we did just one more term, which was known as the build. Now, what is build exactly? Build is an installation file, or it is a compiled code which you are taking and then you are packaging into a single file, which is known as the executable. So when you are testing, obviously the developer is writing code, and the developer has different files, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some 10 files. So he's not going to give you these separate files. He's going to compile those files, and he's going to give you a single file. And this single file is known as your exe file, and on this file you are going to do the
Mama, she's not letting us go.
right. So this is what we discussed in the last class. Any doubts? Soma? No doubts. Now going back to Aditi. Sent items here. Go back to forward. Go back to Aditi. Aditi, what's your email ID? Aditi Podar. Is it raipodar@gmail.com? Or is it aditipodar@gmail.com? raipodar@gmail.com. Thanks, Aditi. Sayed, it's the same email that I sent. I mean, she did not get the test cases. Did you get the test cases, Sayed? I just emailed the test cases to her.
ರಿಟೈರ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತೆ ನೋಡ ಬಿಲ್ಡು ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ కొంచెం
I did, but the word file is blank. Which word file, Sayed? Which word file is blank? Which word file is blank? All of them. Can you please guys open the file and check? He's saying all the files are blank.
There are no words file.
There is word file. The requirements are word file.
Yeah. Black.
Show this one. No, this one. You know what? Do one thing. It might be blank because you have to download it. Just download it once, Sayed. Get it on your computer, Sayed, and then check. Because I am opening direct. It can't be blank. Just download it once. Save it on your computer and then see. It is there. First page is blank. Go down. Okay, Sayed, it's on the second page. The first page is blank.
The first page in one of two.
Yeah.
In the middle it is not.
So in middle, I might have copy pasted it up and just go scroll up and down. Sayyid, it's not blank. Nothing is blank, guys. Just go download it on your systems and then check.
That's fine.
And scroll up and down. It's not blank.
Maybe we'll ask for shows.
Okay, so that is it for today. We will meet next week. And next week, what we are going to do is
Test data.
I'm not understanding.
we are going to do test data. We are going to do
What is she doing right now?
boundary value, equivalence partitioning. We are going to do for our test cases for Bombino. Then I'll give you one more assignment. You will do that. Then after that, we can go and do the manual testing part in which we'll see what is defect, how do you log defect, what is defect
Okay.
reporting, what are the different things that you have to remember when you are logging defects. So all these things we are going to do in the next class. Okay. The document that I this document the last week notes everybody is asking, so I'll go ahead and email those notes to everybody maybe tomorrow. Okay.
So that if we get it, okay.
No, what I'm going to do is the document that I sent you earlier. On top of that, I'm going to put these notes. So it will be in one order, in one sheet. Okay. Thank you guys. I'm going to log out of the webinar. Have a nice week. Enjoy yourself and please study. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, email.
Go play. Raji is here. Go play.
What about Adonai?
Just play with it.